Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of the Purpose and Impact Bootcamp. Today's session is all about your unique purpose. And our objective today is to begin to put the puzzle pieces together by reflecting on the meaning and mission of your life so that you can evaluate how to best utilize your full potential and fulfill your purpose. So, for those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Chantel. I'm an author, a speaker, a transformation neurocoach, and a certified life purpose coach. And I specialize in helping women connect with their unique purpose and permanently remove the blocks that have been holding them back so that they can step into their full potential and live an aligned and fulfilling life of impact. So, I want to start with some celebrations. Who would like to unmute and share anything big or small going on for them? Anyone? Bueller?
Well, this can you guys hear me okay? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on my cell phone, so I always leery about that. Anyhow, this is a win because whenever we choose to show up for ourselves, which we're doing here, right? Um, our brain, you talked about the other day, the RIS, it's like we're programming in. It's kind of like you program a new ringtone in your phone and you haven't ever heard it before and you program it in yours and now everybody else has got the same stinking ringtone. It's because you programmed in. Well, I have been programming in that I want to reprogram, right? That I need to be aware of what I'm saying, how I'm observing myself, and I am getting this message everywhere. Church on Sunday was about our tongue and as the rudder and what we're speaking. The daily devotional that I've been reading over the last couple of days is talking about the power of our words and speaking life. And of course, we're hearing it here. So I don't know how much I get. It is a win because I'm observing it, right? I'm aware. So I'm really aware at heightened levels, even more so, of what I am saying so that I'm not speaking death and cursing my own self, but speaking the life that I do want. So it's quite funny. Frankly, it is very funny.
I love that, Jackie. That is so amazing because, yeah, we have those old patterns where we get used to thinking this way, saying this thing about ourselves, viewing this thing about whatever, right? And then we've gotten those automated thoughts. And so you are noticing and hopefully writing down those automated thoughts and just being really hyper aware of that this week. And when you take little sprints of time like this boot camp to practice that skill, it becomes automated, right? And then you start being able to, in your day to day life, like I'll just be making lunch and some thought, and I'll be like, "Whoa, no, sir, where did that come from? Let's go dig into that." With the steps that we'll go over in Thursday's uh, bonus masterclass. So yes, oh, I love that. And your RAS just really noticing. You're it's allowing those things to filter in that you are looking for. So
Mhm.
yay. Jean and Alyssa, anything that you would like to share? You don't have to, but you have the space to.
So I'll kind of piggyback on what Jackie said. So there was a message talking about Christmas and the Magi, looking for Jesus. And the question was, if you had the opportunity to go after something great, but you had to drop everything and go at that moment, would you do it? So yeah, that was really good. It was a fabulous service. So I want to go back and actually listen to it again.
That's awesome. So yeah, because you are doing the work to see, what is this really great thing that you want to do, and then you get to decide, what are you willing to do to go for it. So that's super exciting. That again, one of the things with our RAS is it wants, the confirmation bias. So whatever we are seeking, like it's going to kind of try and confirm. So if we truly believe, like if I were just gonna like truly believe, like, I don't know, I am a terrible dancer, then I'm going to end up finding things that confirm that belief. Because I want to be right, right? And so when we start opening ourselves to, well, maybe I'm just not a good dancer yet. Maybe I could go to dance lessons and do something different. Maybe I could hire Dan Caro as a salsa dance instructor here in Wichita. I'd never spent that kind of money for an hour long lesson on anything. That was crazy for me. That was huge. But then you start building that muscle of, oh, I can do things different and good things happen when I do that. So yay. All
So
right.
can I add something to that?
Yes, please.
So relating to that a little bit, Jackie, I was invited to participate in a kind of a fundraising dance competition here in Wichita. And it was just really something like way out of my comfort zone, but I felt honored that someone seeked me out to do that. And my instructor, the day of the events that we were walking around, just kind of, he was counseling me about nerves and how to do this and how to do that, because he's a professional dance instructor. So he's gotten to lots of competitions and I've never done this. And his comment to me was, we're not going to win today, right? I'm like, I couldn't for one believe he even said this out loud. But two, I said, no, that's not what I believe at all. I'm going in there expecting to win. And I won dance champion. So it was like the second place up. And the beauty of all that, I don't know if I've ever shared with Chantel, is like the winner, the number one winner won because he's a very wealthy doctor and he wrote himself a check for $25,000, which put him above everyone else for raising funds. But I had the most votes that night for our routine. So I consider myself a winner.
100% Jean, that's amazing. So,
Yeah.
obviously they were judging by the amount of funds somebody was able to bring to the table because it was a fundraiser. So, but you were the best dancer, right? And that your votes showed that. So you are number one in that category, as well as number one because you got out of your comfort zone, right? And then not just once, not just like asked about, somebody presents an opportunity and you're like, okay, I'll think about it, or maybe next year, or maybe, like you went all in and you, I'm sure, had to practice lots of hours, lots of investing of time and energy, and you had to go out and do fundraising, which that's never my favorite thing, like asking people for money. I'm like, ah, no, that's fine. So doing lots of different steps out of your comfort zone that then led to this amazing result. And I remember seeing pictures of that. And so that's so exciting. And was that like a reverse psychology thing Jason was doing? Like, we're going to have a talk.
Yeah, seriously, I'm like, that's not what a professional instructor says to their student who's on their first competition. You're like, we're not going to win. I'm like, I couldn't believe you even said that. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
we were both pretty like just, oh my gosh, the adrenaline was crazy and the endorphins, but so I don't know. Yeah, but that's what he said. And I'm like, no,
That's,
no, that's not it at all. I expect to win.
well,
I'm going
good
in
for
there to
you.
win it. Yeah, thank you.
So you stuck to you went in to win, and even when somebody said we're not going to win, you didn't let that deter you. And he's even, I mean, that's not just like a peer or somebody saying, you're not really going to be able to do that, and that's okay. Like, that was your instructor and your dance partner, like that, like a level of authority. So it would have been really easy to be like, yeah, I mean, I'll be realistic. It's probably okay. And then you wouldn't have won, right? I mean, because it's all about the way you showed up on that dance floor. Like, you nailed that routine. So show up in life just like that. I love it. Awesome. Okay. So I'll share a celebration. So some of you may have seen, I got an alert today that my podcast has surpassed 3,000 downloads. When I started it in March 2020, I literally was just like, I'm stuck in the house. Everything just shut down. I just got back from an international trip. I'm on a 14-day quarantine. What in the world am I going to do? I always said, if I had more time, I'd learn how to do a podcast because books made such an impact on me and my journey and helped me. So I wanted to give back and write a book. And then podcasts were making such a big impact on me. So I was like, oh, I really feel called to start a podcast, but I don't know how. I didn't know anything, right? And so I had a period of time, much longer than I anticipated, to figure it out and get it out there. And it's, oh my gosh, I'm terrified to go back and watch the first episode. I'm sure it's terrible. And like Jackie and I were talking earlier, like when you go live like this on Facebook, like anything and everything can happen. Like we just had a little bumble a few seconds ago before we were able to get here. And by practicing that muscle, like that would have freaked me out. Like I'd just be a mess right now, just being like all these stories in my head of, oh, are people judging me and da da da. And right now I'm like, I don't care. Like we're moving forward. Like this is real life. This is live and it's authentic. And show up as you are, who you are. And yeah, that's all we can do. Okay, so then to celebrate that, while I was making dinner real quick, I was just gonna fill up my big jug of water, like I always have with me. And I remembered I had these little, it's called Ora Bora. I was just trying it out. It's from Thrive Market. It's an herbal sparkling water, and this one's peppermint watermelon, and they just looked fun. And so I got some. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to treat myself with a sparkling water. And then it popped in my head. I was like, nope, you're going to do it in a champagne glass. So just those little things to celebrate your wins, right? I mean, how easy is that? Like I already had these things. It took 2 seconds to pour it in there. And now every time I look at it and in a minute when I'm starting drinking from it, I'm going to be like, woohoo, I'm fancy, right? Um, like I'm celebrating something. Just reading Alyssa's comment real quick. You are perfect. Oh, Alyssa, I'm so sorry. I had a technical difficulty, so that was not on you. We just really got started. And I'm so glad that you were here. And that even though your day was a real whirlwind, that you are here and ready to, yeah, show up for yourself and see where it goes. So, a couple announcements are, I've been tallying all the points as we go through. So remember, keep showing up, taking action, and sharing. And on Thursday at the bonus class is when we will announce the first, second, and third prizes. And then as I've been doing the calls with you, so a couple of you have asked about working with me beyond the boot camp and what that looks like, what that costs, like all the things. So I'm going to save a little time towards the end of Wednesday for anyone who'd like more information about that. I will share, and so you're welcome to stay in here and just learn and be aware, or go about your day. That is fine. So tomorrow is Tuesday. And there's no official bootcamp session, but instead, I've invited you to attend the live interview with Coach Colin C. Thompson. He coaches individuals and groups on how to reach their dreams, goals, and desires, and he's just going to bring so much value that's going to be an amazing supplement to everything you've been learning this week. So it just worked out perfectly that he is the guest this week, and this bootcamp was developed over the past couple weeks and is here right now. The schedule, everything aligned perfectly. So I know it's really going to be very magical. Okay. So it will not be in Zoom, and it's 1 hour later. So just show up in the Facebook group at 7 p.m. Central Time and join us. And then on Wednesday, we'll be back at our same time, 6 p.m. in the Zoom room for day 4, our unique vision. And then Thursday is our bonus masterclass where we're going to tie everything together and learn how to permanently remove the blocks and limiting beliefs that are holding you back from living your biggest dreams and your life purpose. Okay. So Another quick announcement. When you registered, I mentioned that there was going to be additional bonuses rolled out during the boot camp, and these are going to be included in your email that will go out once we're finished here tonight. But I just want you to be aware. So here's kind of like a little teaser. On Sunday at 1 p.m. and Monday at 7 p.m., and these are Central Time, we're going to do some bonus sessions. So Sunday at 1 p.m. Central is going to be an open Q&A session. So you can come with questions or just come and listen and learn from other people's questions. And we'll open up with celebrations because by that point you've done all the boot camp content. And then because we ended Thursday, now it's Sunday, you've had a couple days to process it without taking in more information. And so Sunday will be a wonderful time to get together, recap from the week-long boot camp and look ahead. And so yeah, we'll just, it's an open floor for whoever's in attendance. We'll see where the conversation goes. You can come with questions about content from the boot camp, things that were coming up for you in activities, whatever you feel called to come with. And then Monday at 7 p.m. is when one of the main components of my coaching program will start taking place in January. And so I'm inviting you to come and experience what driver's seat coaching looks like. And then when I explain more about what the program is on Wednesday and Thursday, that will all make sense. But for now, just save the date, Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time in Zoom. And because coaching can get personal, it's not going to be live streamed and it's not going to be recorded. So it's one of those things you show up live and you benefit from it and learn from it and experience it, or I'm happy to connect with you on a Zoom call and explain what it looked like, but I can't really recreate the magicalness of driver's seat coaching. Okay, so we're going to dive into today's content finally, after all my technical difficulties. So deep breath. So now you've taken time to reflect on your life experiences, your passions, your skills, and your interests. And now it's time to look at everything all at once. So it's going to be like taking a wide angle view of your life. And when you put everything out on the table, right, you can kind of see the bigger picture and it starts to become clearer how the pieces fit together. Now, keep in mind that not everyone is going to have like a clear, succinct purpose statement by the end of the boot camp, right? You just started thinking these things through a couple days ago, and this is an ongoing process. But the idea is that you're going to have more clarity by Thursday than you had last Friday when you started, right? And that now you have the tools in place to keep going. So sometimes our purpose in life is glaringly obvious, and other times it's subtle and ever changing. And so we are each on our own unique journey, and we're not going to arrive at the same milestones. And even if we have similar milestones, we're not going to get there at the same time. So no reason to compare our journey with anybody else. What was it? Oh man, now I'm trying to think. Was it with you guys or could have been with, I've been on a lot of Zooms over the past 48 hours, but somewhere somebody said something really amazing. We were talking about comparing and where, you look at somebody ahead of you and you think, wow, they're so much further ahead of me. And you start comparing and feeling bad about where you're at. And that's silly because, and I think they said, to fourth graders, fifth graders look like they have it all together. And, for us as adults looking back at fifth graders, we're like, yeah, whatever, kid. So it's all about perspective. So don't worry about it. You will progress. You will get exactly where you are supposed to get exactly at the same time that you are supposed to get there. So there's no race. It is a journey. Okay, so the ultimate goal of this process is to get clear on two things. You want to think about how you can best utilize your potential and to find meaning in the experiences of your life. So knowing the tools and gifts that you have been given and seeing that everything you've been through has added meaning to your life, that empowers you to make the rest of your life's journey an exciting quest to fulfill your purpose. So let's take a minute to kind of think back over the activities that you've completed so far. And so the reflection questions I'll be leading you through are also in your workbook. And so you'll want to set aside some time after to kind of really process through those, because I'm just going to introduce them during this time. But you're going to look back at what you wrote on day one about your passions and interests. And you're going to think about which ones stand out as containing the most meaning. So another way to ask that is like, what do I feel most excited about when I see it? And start thinking about it. And then you're going to look at your talents and skills. And which do you feel are the most meaningful? So which of those abilities that you already have fulfill you the most? And in what area do you feel drawn to learn and improve the most? We all have multiple passions, multiple interests, multiple talents, multiple skills. And at some point in our life and in some way, we can tap into those, but really start looking at and prioritizing like, what are the key ones I want to focus on? Because if we're trying to do 10 things, then we're going to do all 10 at 10%. So I challenge you to go for one thing 100% and go all in, get kind of that momentum building, and then you can start looking at how other things. So for example, I went all in with my book, right? It was kind of in the back of my mind, like, I'd love to teach and train and speak and be on podcasts and have a podcast, but I focused on my book. And then once that was done, the book opened doors for other things. So now I do get to do some of those other ideas that I was excited about, but I had to focus on one thing at a time. So looking back on the limiting beliefs that you've been identifying throughout the boot camp, think about what are the automated thoughts that are holding you back. And now that you see everything more clearly, are you ready to let those limitations go? And how to do that is going to be explained in the post bootcamp masterclass on Thursday. But you first have to decide, are you ready? Right? So then when looking back at your timeline from day 2, and you're considering all of the other insights that you gained in day 1, your passions, talents, skills, combined with these events, which ones kind of feel more connected to your potential? And which life events or turning points were absolutely necessary for you to be where you are today? What does it seem like your path has been leading you towards your entire life? So again, with like our movie thing that we talked about the other day, being able to see it objectively and emotionally detached from our story. So if you imagine you're watching your life as a movie playing out, it's just a fictional character, you're not emotionally attached. What would you say is the point of their life? What is their mission? And looking at all your talents, traits, experiences, how could you make the best use of your potential? And what is the greater meaning that your life experience has given you? After you've kind of reflected on those, you're going to summarize your insights about what you've learned about yourself into 3 to 5 puzzle pieces or key ingredients that, when they're put together, reveal your life's greater purpose. So I had a lot of fun in the workbook actually having little puzzle pieces, so I hope you enjoy that. But think about really narrowing down to 3 to 5 key things. Is there going to be more? Yes, but narrow it down to 3 to 5. And finally, when you put it all together, how would you describe your life's purpose? You're going to fill in the blank. You're going to write down, my purpose is to blank. And where you're at in your thinking and your clarity right now can be different in a week, right? You are not married to that. You are not tied to that. But get what feels right now with what you know, where you're at on your journey. Fill in the blank with wherever you are, because that's where you are And until you know that and accept that and give yourself permission to own that, you can't get to the next step and start gaining clarity on where that leads. Okay? Okay, so that was a lot of content so far. Any questions or anything coming up for anybody? Okay, I see heads shaking no, so good. So, your action items today are very similar as they have been. I like patterns, I like consistency, I like structure. um, so, your action items today are you're going to continue noticing and writing down your automated thoughts. Go back and watch any previous content that you may have missed. Up to this point, we had the pre bootcamp bonus masterclass, Foundations of Success. Then we had day 1, unique gifts, day 2, unique experiences, and now you're here today, day 3, unique purpose. On day 4, which is not tomorrow, it's Wednesday, we're going to go into your unique vision. Okay. So, watch any previous content you may have missed. Spend some time reflecting on the activity, like activity questions and reflection questions laid out in the workbook. And then remember to take action and share an insight in the Facebook group. It's been so fun. And Jackie, I was getting notifications, so I haven't gotten back yet and seen what you were working on right before we jumped on. So I can't wait to go read kind of these insights that were coming up for you, and dig deeper with you on that. So, at this point, we've covered our content and given the action items. Remember, our next official session is not tomorrow. Tomorrow, you are invited to attend the live interview with Coach Colin C. Thompson. And it's not in Zoom. Meet us in the Facebook group, Create a Life You Love community. And it's 1 hour later than we've been meeting. So several changes, different location, different time, and different format. Then Wednesday, we're back to what we've been doing. So day 4, unique vision, and then you are going to create your unique vision and you're going to design your impact action plan. That's going to allow you to live in alignment with your purpose and create the impact that you were uniquely designed for. So that is a big thing, right? Like, so Purpose and Impact Bootcamp. You might not be there on your journey, but doing these activities, like even if you're just like, I just want clarity, I want a little bit of guidance, doing these activities, whether you are ready to make an external impact in the world or you're ready to make an internal impact on you, or a combination of both. I think we're always doing a little bit of both. But some of the terminology I've been using throughout the week, you may have been like, oh, I'm not there. And you start the comparison, and I'm going to invite you to stop. Where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. You are perfect, whole, and complete, exactly as you are. So, okay. I did, because of our earlier snafu, kind of rush through a little bit of the content because I'm so excited for this activity that I'm going to walk us through here in a minute. It's a little different than what we've been doing. So I'm going to introduce the activity for today. And I encourage those of you that are catching the replay, go through this activity as well. But after I take everyone through it, I will be ending the Facebook live stream and the recording so that just everyone live in Zoom can kind of process and debrief the activity and what came up for them. And we're going to review our bootcamp interaction guidelines for both Zoom and Facebook. What happens at bootcamp stays at bootcamp. You always have the right to pass, and there are no right or wrong answers. So, If you are streaming live on Facebook and you want to come join us in Zoom, click the link that is in the description, and I will drop it in the chat real quick too, or the comments. So if you click that, you'll be able to jump in and do that activity with us too. Okay, so on day one, our activity had us start dreaming big, and we answered, what's the best that could happen? And we pushed ourselves to dream bigger than we've ever dreamed before. Then on day two, we brought it in and we began to see our priorities within our big vision by asking ourselves, if we only had 1 year left to make an impact, what would we do with our limited time? So today for day three, we're going to begin looking at our interconnectedness and how even a tiny splash you can make a big impact. So feel free to close your eyes because I am going to walk you through a brief visualization activity. So I want you to visualize a rock being dropped into the middle of a large, still body of water. See the ripples that it creates and visualize how far and wide those ripples spread. Now imagine that those first 3 ripples, they're empowered, and now they're given their own rocks. So the body of water, it's still rippling from that original rock as the 3 new are gently released into the water with 3 small splashes. Observe that body of water as ripples from all 4 of these rocks extend on and on beyond the horizon, beyond what you are capable of seeing. Now, imagine you are that first rock. What are you doing as you make that initial splash? Who are your many ripples impacting? And how then are those ripples that you created and inspired creating ripples of their own? I'm going to end the Facebook Live and the recording. See everyone from Facebook tomorrow, Tuesday, 7 p.m. in the Facebook room.